Welcome to Pitwall Perspective. I'm Logan,
I'm Manny.
and here's our perspective on the racing world.
Today we're going to be going over a few events. We're going to be going over the recent Rolex 24 hour that just took place in Daytona this past weekend. And then we're going to be touching on the F1 testing a little bit that's going on in Barcelona for the next couple days.
Yeah, we got a lot of F1 actually to talk about, even though the season hasn't even started. But liveries, team launches, shakedown in Barcelona, that's what we're going to be going over there. Yep. And take us through the IMSA 2026 opener at Daytona.
Again, this weekend was the Rolex 24. It is the 64th running, I think it was. It's started in 1962. Combines the road course, the infield Daytona road course, and the oval, so it makes it a pretty unique course.
Mm-hmm. This was real quick. This was the first time I've ever watched the Daytona race.
Was it?
It was. And do they have corners in the road track that mimic famous race corners on other tracks? Because they have like a Le Mans corner.
And they have. It's called bus stop.
Bus stop is
bus
at
stop.
Spa, right?
Bus stop. No, I would say bus stop probably mimics the second. Down the back straight of the Le Mans.
Oh, okay. So it's both
really
both
long
based
straight,
off of Le Mans.
and you have right, and then you have a left. I would say bus stop at Daytona probably mimics the second turn there at Le Mans.
Okay.
Couple facts about the Rolex 24. There were a total of 10 former F1 drivers, no current drivers running this year, but there were 10 former F1 drivers across all different classes, mainly in LMP2 and GTP. One of them actually not one. Jack Aitken with GTP Cadillac, number 31 Cadillac. Yep. He came in second place. Him and the winner, Felipe Nasr, they were battling it out to the last few seconds of the race. I think the margin was only 1.6 seconds roughly. So that was a really good race to the end. There are a total of over 700 driver changes between all three.
That's insane.
All four classes. Yep. 700 driver swaps over the 24 hours.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yep. And then also track temps. I'll get into this a little bit later on in the agree or disagree, but the track temp swing at Daytona, 25 degrees, more than 25 degrees day and night. Brings a lot of high grip at the night time when the track cools off. That's where a lot of the top times actually come through is through the night segment, but it's also where the most crashes happen as well. The most incidents,
unless there's fog.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna jump into. Most incidents happen between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. for the Daytona historically, but this year we were on
caution.
A caution for like 4.5 hours, something like that.
Yeah, I read somewhere like 6 hours, but I don't know if it was that long.
Yeah, obviously I wasn't watching.
Nope, I was
that early in the morning, but yeah, I think I turned it on at around 12:45, 1 o'clock, just to see where they were at before I went to bed, and it was already in the caution, and I was like replaying, trying to go back, trying to figure out what the accident was, why they were on caution for so long, and then finally I found the start point of the yellow, and it was just because of fog. Last time that happened was 2011.
That long of a delay, or a delay in general?
A delay from fog.
Oh, okay.
A delay from fog, 2011. Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about the GTP class a little bit.
Okay.
Winner, like I said, is number 7, Felipe Nasr, Julian Andler, and Lauren Heinrich. They were our number 7 Porsche Penske Motorsport.
Porsche looked dominant.
They were, they were dominant. They just hit a three-peat. They've won 2024, 2025, 2026. So they won 3 years in a row. And that actually puts Felipe Nasr in to only be one of 3 drivers to have won the Daytona 24 consecutively 3 years in a row.
Yeah, because he's the only person on this team that was on the team the last 2 years.
I don't know much about the other drivers, but Felipe Nasr, I know he's won for them the last 2 years as well.
Right. Yeah, I think I saw something where he was the only one on the team that had the three-peat, but it was the team itself that
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you guys out there get a chance to go watch the replay, go watch, the last 10 minutes of the race.
Yeah.
Him and Aikens were going at it pretty well. A few close calls really late in the race that would have, caused a lot of problems. But and then in third place for the podium, we had the number 24 BMW M Hybrid.
Yeah. And the two Porsches were out in front for the good part of the first stint.
Yeah.
Those two were, and they came into the pits. They were right neck and neck, P1 and P2.
Yep.
So Porsche looked pretty good.
Yep. Cadillac performed
Yeah.
how they were expected to. They came in pretty strong, putting number 2 on there, on the podium.
Yep.
LMP2 class for the podiums, we had number 4 CrowdStrike Racing by APR. And then we had the number 43 and the number 343, both with inter Europool competition. They took the 2 and 3 spot. Crowd Racing Strike, this was their first Rolex 2024 win after having multiple podiums in the past. So it's finally their chance to take a Rolex home. So GTD Pro, we had the number 1 was the Paul Miller Racing Team BMW M4. In their GT3 Evo, that the drivers were Connor De Felipe, Neil Verhagen, Max Hayes, and Dan Harper. They raced a total of 660 laps between all 4 drivers. And GTD Pro was actually pretty close too, with only a 5-second margin of victory.
Yeah.
5 seconds is a lot in racing, but when you're racing over 24 hours, 5 seconds is relatively close.
Mm-hmm.
In the number 2 and 3 spot, we had the number 75 Sun Energy 1 in the Mercedes-AMG GT3, and then also the number 48 Windward Racing Team, also in the Mercedes-AMG GT3. They did have the closest racing out of any class. I think the balance of power. I think they are the most entertaining.
By far.
Their balance of power just puts a really even playing field. They have. Not really so many mechanical failures like the GTP class does, just because of the complex hybrid. The computer systems, the hybrid in GTP makes it a bit more advanced. Going down to GTD, if you guys don't know the difference between GTD Pro and GTD, it's really only one major difference. GTD Pro requires a gold rated driver or higher to be at least one of the drivers to be on the team. And GTD is just bronze and silver drivers, bronze and silver rated drivers.
And they can't have a gold driver in GTD?
Yeah, GTD cannot have a gold.
We'll get into that a little later.
Will we?
I don't like there being 2 separate GTD classes.
Okay. All right, we'll get into it later.
Yeah.
Okay, Windward Racing, the podium, the number 1 team for the GTD class. They ran the whole 24 hours with no major damage, no major collisions or drama on the track. I think any endurance race really, not only the Rolex 24 and Le Mans 24, 12 hours of Sebring. I think those are all races that you can be the fastest on the track, but I think consistency is a little bit more important when it comes to endurance racing. One caution can change the flow of the entire race. Allows people to catch up, get back into the fighting position. I think we had quite a few collisions in the Daytona 24. If you guys were watching, turn 1, lap 1 for the LMP2 class, big wreck. I think it took out, it DNF'd 2 guys, 1 for sure, but 7 major cars. Damage to several cars. You get a chance to go watch that replay. It's definitely entertaining.
The first highlight reel, that's for sure.
Yep, definitely. What else happened? We had a Porsche in the GTD Pro, I believe it was. They were going around turn 1. They were battling another car on the track. They got pushed off a little bit and went sideways right into the wall here with some tire barriers. And then you had the Porsche came around the corner, went sideways, T-boned like
Oh,
straight
jeez.
into the wall. Driver was fine.
Both of them were GTDs.
Yeah. They
Okay.
were in the same class. I just don't know if it was GTD class or GTD Pro. I believe it was GTD Pro, but driver walked away, no injuries. He was cleared.
Now I have a question. Do GTD drivers do they get blue flag for GTD Pro? I can't imagine they do. And if they do, that's why I don't like the difference.
That's a good question. I don't actually know. I don't think they would get
The pace difference
flagged.
isn't that far.
Right. I don't think they would get flagged for GTD Pro unless they're getting lapped. Right. If they're getting lapped, they're going to get blue flagged. But
there's a 5-lap difference in completed laps between GTD Pro and GTD.
Yeah. So blue flags wouldn't be coming till way late in the race.
Right.
Only if, of course, like they had to get a repair and they were in the pits for 15, 20 minutes and they were getting lapped a few times. So I guess it all depends on the situation. But yeah, I don't think GTD Pro would cause a blue flag for GTD.
Right.
We also had a pretty decent sized wreck actually at bus stop. We were talking about bus stop earlier. A prototype misjudged their gap between them and GT traffic.
Okay.
And they were way late on the brakes. Just went right into the back of the GT cars. There's really heavy damage on the GTD.
Okay.
And the GTP, of course, had to go into the pits for repairs. They lost quite a few laps while being in there. Then we had that the fog neutralization. That turned the race off pretty much for. Like we were saying, multiple hours, 5 hours or so, 6 hours or so. The drivers were just sitting in their cars at caution pace the whole time. But I'm sure nobody minded. They were able to catch some sleep if they were at the race. They weren't missing much.
Yep.
I know we had another instance with a GTP car early on in the race. I think it was about an hour in.
Okay.
They were side by side with a GTD going through the infield, and they actually cut the entire track because they got pushed off track.
Okay.
They came within within a couple feet of hitting one of the Rolex signs that sits on the infield.
Okay.
And those signs are sandbagged. So if he was a little bit more to the right, that would have caused could have been race-ending damage.
One highlight that I did see was the 3 leaders. At the time, it was a Mercedes, Aston Martin, and this is in GTD or GTD Pro, and a Corvette, and they're going around the oval. The Mercedes and Aston are in front, and they're like battling. They touch a little bit, but the Corvette makes a double pass through their slipstream into turn 1. That was probably the highlight of the race. GTD is just more entertaining racing.
It's an entertaining class. They've just a lot of close racing.
Yeah.
A lot of their strategy is tire management.
Yeah.
So just staying in a line, saving fuel, pulling out more laps where they can. Very fun class to watch.
Right. And then really like the end with GTP, that's the closest finish. That was the most exciting last 2 minutes of the race.
Yeah, definitely.
In GTP. And then, besides that, in your opinion, would you rather have the fastest car on the track for a 24-hour race? Would you rather have the fastest car or the most reliable car?
Most reliable. And
I'm with you on that.
And that just goes back to what I was saying before. You can be the fastest car on the track, but it doesn't matter. It's about consistency. It's about surviving, really. Right. You guys are these guys are pedal to the metal for 24 hours.
Right.
But again, there's a lot that goes into it: the fuel saving, tire management, survival, traffic management.
Right.
That alone, right? You'll see a pack of 6 to 8 GTD cars, GTD Pro cars, battling it out, and then all of a sudden you have a pack of 3 or 4 GTPs coming through, and they're fighting, trying to stay, defend, but also get through the traffic of the slower class.
And they use the traffic to their advantage, and it can be a disadvantage to others. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's multi-class racing in general. I think is just a really, really fun class to watch. If you're not into it too much, I would recommend it. I just became a multi-class fan probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was much more recent than that, but it's never a dull moment. You're gonna have somebody getting lapped with a car catching up or slowing down, and it's never a dull moment in that.
Yep.
If it was one class, it would be a lot. I don't think it would be as entertaining.
Yeah.
Like if it was just LMP2 out there.
Right.
There's not as much going on. Even if we were just focusing on LMP2 the entire race, it wouldn't be as entertaining because there's no traffic. I think the traffic is the biggest aspect that makes it much more entertaining.
Yeah, definitely. With multi-class racing, the traffic is what is really what brings a lot of excitement out to it, at least, for me.
Right.
All right. Let's jump into the next thing we were gonna talk
F1?
about. Yeah. Yeah, let's jump into F1. Yeah. We've got some testing going on in Barcelona currently. Started today, Monday. And way the BMW or the Barcelona testing is going is there's 5 days total, and each team has the ability to pick 3 of the 5 days to go out there. And, I think really, show what the cars are able to do, show the new designs, show, the aerodynamics at Barcelona. Mm-hmm. Barcelona's they've always done the testing at Barcelona. It's a very rewarding track for aerodynamics and setup.
You learn a lot.
Yeah, you learn a lot about the car. There's a lot of different kinds of turns, lots of different speed changes and things like that. So,
but Williams wasn't there.
No, they weren't. Williams wasn't there. There were how many teams?
So 7 teams ran today.
Yeah.
The teams who didn't run were Ferrari, Aston Martin, and McLaren. So those 3 teams didn't run. And then
is Williams going to run at all?
Not in Barcelona. They're not.
They're forfeiting all their days.
All those 3 days that they would be able to have. They're not using them. They claimed it's to make the performance of the car tip top to what they can, but they took the longest time to prepare and the most amount of resources.
Right.
They started doing this in 2024, getting ready for this car. They were the first team besides Audi to get started on this car, and they're going to be the last people on the track.
Now, do you think that shows how confident they are in what they have? No, you think it's a red flag?
I think it's a red flag.
You think
it's a major red flag.
Okay.
I think Williams is. I think they're back to the grid again. I can't see how the Cadillac, who's brand new to F1, Audi, they took over Sauber, but they're newer, right? It came from a project,
right?
Like, how are these teams out on track? And you've had years, the longest tenured team in F1.
Yep.
And you're not out on track. I don't think it's confidence at all. I think it's a red flag for sure.
Let's not sugarcoat it. Williams hasn't really been even a midfield contender for.
No, well they got P5 last year. They
in
last year they looked good.
They finished P5.
Yeah.
Okay.
The constructors.
All right.
So. They were looking good last year.
This was their chance to
slingshot.
Yeah. Right. Bring the
now. If I eat my words, then okay. But I think it's a red flag. And
I think it'd be really cool to see Williams in the in the top field.
We weren't born in Williams' glory days.
Right. Right.
Their glory days is just what
it's all stories. It's like the New York Yankees, right? When they had that long run of winning the World Series and.
Right.
They've, as far as my knowledge goes, they haven't even come close since.
Yeah. Well, so we talk about them now at Barcelona, but what about it's a new car?
That's what I'm saying. It's a new car.
What do you think of the new cars? The regulation changes, the 50-50 power split. What do you think?
I think they're really cool.
I think they're sick.
Yeah.
I hate electric cars. 50-50 power splits kind of, when I first heard it, red flag. But they sound good.
They sound really good.
They look so much better. They went back to the smaller frames and yeah, they look so much better.
Yeah. They took the wheel.
Yeah, those the wheel
over the front wheels.
Yep. Now it's actual open wheel racing.
Yep.
What about the teams? What do you think of the liveries? Do you think anybody played it safe? And we're gonna get into our rankings, but
yeah, I think Red Bull played it safe.
Okay.
I know they went from the matte to the gloss, but I think it was a safe route for them.
Yeah.
I think there were definitely a few teams, and Alpine too. I think
Alpine's basically the same.
Alpine's basically the same.
A little more blue, but
Mercedes is a nice switch.
Yeah, Mercedes. That's definitely not playing it safe or keeping traditional stuff. No, that's pretty new.
I think the biggest changes were from Haas.
Yeah, Haas looks.
Haas always has really good liveries. Though.
Yeah, Haas.
When was it that they had the gold and black livery? They were always
that was like their first year or two, 2016, 2017.
Yeah. Haas has always had liveries that I've enjoyed. Yeah.
Definitely not a bad car to look at. Like the what was the horrendous? I mean, I hated the 2022 McLaren when they were terrible with Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah. It just looked terrible. They were last every race. I mean, that's a big jump too. 2022, same car regulations as 25, and then they jumped to construction.
Did McLaren run today?
McLaren's running tomorrow. Did you see their?
I saw their Barcelona their testing livery.
I'm gonna get into that.
I think it's pretty sick. Yeah. I think they're the all black with like they have a couple like accents like orange accents.
It's like a gray and black camo.
Yeah, I think it's sick. Yeah. I think it looks really good.
The wheel cover doesn't fit with it. The rim.
It's like the rainbow. Yeah.
But yeah. So, I mean, do we want to get into our rankings of them?
Yeah. You want to start with
give me your number 7.
My number 7. We're ranking them out of 10.
Yeah.
So my number 7 comes in at a 5 out of 10.
Wow, that's low.
Yeah, it's low. There's a big swing on this one. Audi coming in at 5 out of 10 for me.
Why?
At first, I think I wanted to like it more than I did, just because Audi's a cool brand. I like their cars. I was excited for it. I'm excited for it in the grid, right? But I think their livery, it looks like they started working on it in the rear, and they were moving forward.
They gave up.
They gave up. Yeah. They kind of just said, let's slap the sponsors onto the bare metal.
There we go, and we're done. I mean, it's the same car that they released a year or two ago, and then just liveries on it.
Right.
And everybody was expecting something different.
Yeah.
But in my number 7 spot, I have at a 6.5 out of 10. I have Alpine.
Really?
Yeah.
But why? Alpine?
I'm tired of it. I think it's old. When they first came on the grid and they took over Racing Point, which was all pink, and they added the blue, I thought it was sick.
Yeah, good color combo.
Yeah, good color, cotton candy.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. I just don't like it anymore. I don't think it looks good. So I have that at a 6.5 out of 10.
So Alpine is my number 6.
Okay, all right.
And I mean, kind of for the same reasons, just because it's the same. They went the safe route.
Safe route for sure.
I like new though. I want to
change it up every year.
Every year.
Yeah.
Like Haas, I think has had the most livery changes over the last 7, 8, 9 years.
They changed everything every year. Yeah.
I think I like new. I like seeing fresh fresh liveries on the track. So I put Alpine at a 7.4.
7.4.
Yeah, it's
it's a big jump from Audi at a 5 out of 10.
I'm really hoping somebody can fill that spot.
Yeah.
When we see the rest of the releases, the other 3 come out. I think Williams is going to have a good release.
Yeah, Williams is
usually pretty good.
Yeah.
We were talking not so great about them before, but I think their liveries are nice.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Cadillac's livery.
I'm very excited for Cadillac.
I think Cadillac's going to deliver.
We'll get into that.
Okay.
All
right.
In my number 6 slot, also at a 6.5 out of 10. So it's tied with Alpine. You can switch them if you want. I have V-carb.
Oh, stop.
I have V-carb.
Stop.
I like the...
Stop.
Okay, so we watched the Red Bull announcement both last year and this year together.
Yeah.
And our reaction to the V-carb livery last year was it's the best looking car on the grid. It's white, it looks good, it's clean.
Yeah.
This year, I think it looks better than last year, but last year it very quickly died on me. Like I was just like, all right, it's not as good as I initially thought. And I think it's because you got 2 liveries with Red Bull and V-carb that are the exact same, the body color's just different. I think with the nose and the airbox having the exact same, and then you just change the base color. Right, the Red Bull itself.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's why I have V-carb, 6.5 out of 10. It's just, it died off on me last year, and I was hoping they would change it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I had put Alpine as my number 6 at 7.4. I mean, I think the 7s range is kind of like, okay, it's a nice livery,
Yeah,
but it's getting old.
Okay.
So that's why for me,
you think I'm a little low at 6.5 for V-carb?
I think you're quite a bit low.
Okay, we'll see where you have it.
So talking about, not much change, my number 5 coming in at 7.5, so very close to the Alpine.
Yeah.
Yep. Is going to be the Red Bull.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be Red Bull. All they did was go to glossy paint and outline.
Looks good.
All they did was glossy paint and go and outline their logos.
Okay. All right.
They do this.
They
do the same thing every year. And look, I Red Bull is one of the top teams in my, in my list of teams that I like to watch.
Yeah.
But
change it up, guys.
Change it up.
Yeah.
The livery's been the same since 2012.
Yeah.
They don't change it. They came in at 7.5. They look good, but didn't really impress, in my opinion.
Fair enough. My number 5 slot at a 7 out of 10. Ferrari.
Oh, I knew you were going to say Ferrari. Oh,
Ferrari. I think it just...
I like the retro.
It looks retro.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It's very Niki Lauda. They did the same thing in 2016.
Reminds me of their Marlboro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Very, very... I like the white. I don't know why I look at the car and I just think slow.
Oh, well, I mean, they haven't been the fastest car on the track, right?
But the reason it's at a 7, which is a high ranking for me, 7 out of 10, is the black rear and front wings. Last year they had white. Looked terrible. I
agree. I agree with that. I wasn't a huge fan of the white wings.
If they had white wings, it would be below V-carb.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the wings brought it up for me, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 4, definitely changed, but still kind of the same concept, is going to be Mercedes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, Mercedes. I put at number 4 there at 7.9 out of 10.
Okay.
It reminds me of a shark. Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fins.
The gills. The gills on the side pods.
Yeah.
I think it looks really good.
I think
it's it's not a lot of change of, from what they've had in the past, but I think it's enough to be higher on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. At my number 4 slot, at a 7.5 out of 10, I have Audi. Hear me out. Hold on. Everybody is dog walking this livery. Everybody's saying
everybody hates it.
Everybody hates it.
Yeah.
Everybody hates it. But hold on. When I first saw it, it got released. I was like, 0 out of 10. This thing sucks. It is so bad. It's the exact same thing they showed us a couple years ago. And I had it at number 7 at a 6 out of 10 on this list until today. I saw it on track at Barcelona. And I saw
So you think it looked good once it got
I think
on track?
it looks sick on track. And
maybe I have to watch it again.
The gray on the front half of the car is the best color and texture of a color we have on the grid. Period. That gunmetal gray.
It's like a satin almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would think of like rims you'd put on a JDM car type of color.
Okay.
Like that satin gray.
Yeah.
I think it's sick.
All right.
So I have it at 7.5. It's right in the middle at 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here comes my number 3.
Okay.
Ferrari.
That's high.
It is. I gave them an 8 out of 10.
8. Okay.
An 8. Yeah. I think they I like red. The last 7 cars I've had, 6 of them have been red. So I'm a fan of the color. I think throwing in the white, like right on the top that they did, like I was saying before, retro vibes. Yeah. I think it's very nostalgic for like their old Marlboro livery, and I mean that's just such an iconic livery.
Yeah.
I think this year has been probably the closest they've gotten to having a livery that I liked as much as they did.
Yeah, I definitely put it above anything they did in the ground effects era. The last 3 years, 100%. Yeah. So I don't disagree. I'm not mad at that. I think it's a little high, but I'm not mad at it. At my number 3, I have Mercedes.
Okay.
8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I hit the 8s into the top 3. Same things you said. My initial reaction, like from a side view, I was like, I don't know if these gills really work. But from the front and the top, I think it looks sick. Yeah. And out on track, it looked good. Yeah. I really don't have any complaints about my top 3.
Yeah. My number 2 is going to be the Bulls, Racing Bulls.
Wow.
Yeah, I give them an 8.4 out of 10.
Oh my gosh.
I think they did this. I think they did the same thing that Ferrari did. It's very retro to me.
What about it is retro? It's just the V carb from last year with Ford on it.
No, it's something. It's something about the lines. Dude, I don't know. I like it.
Okay.
I like it.
All right.
I think it was a good change. They were like completely white last year.
Well, almost. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the back is definitely more. They
Yeah.
did. I think it was black or blue.
Blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think that's a good change. I think it's better than last year.
For something about like the shape of the blue. It's just it's retro to me. I like it.
You know what?
I don't normally like retro things.
Really? I usually do.
Yeah, I usually don't.
I don't see retro in this at all.
I do. Maybe not retro. Maybe like cyberpunk kind of.
Cyberpunk. That's futuristic. That's the exact opposite of what you said.
No, it's like from the future, but like you feel like you've seen it before.
Okay. You want to know? I think I figured out my issue with V-Carb. They seem like an F2 team. I think Visa.
Well, when you're living in Red Bull's shadow,
right,
right,
and I think that like downplays my look on. Like I look down on them almost.
Okay.
And like I look at the Visa on the side pod. Like that's not a real like what other sponsor? Do you know what Oracle is? Like.
You know, it's funny you say that because I have no clue what they do, but probably about a year ago, I started seeing Oracle everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. So, but I've just never looked into what they do. I still don't know what they do.
So I don't know Oracle. I don't know Amrico or whatever Aston Martin is. I know what Shell and HP for Ferrari is. But like most of the main sponsors are like people you don't know, and then I see Visa, I'm like, I know that, and it just sounds cheap. It just sounds knockoff, and I think I look down on it. And I think
is it because it's such a mainstream company? Like you like it, okay. So you're saying because you don't know what like Oracle does, for example, it makes it more mysterious,
right? And then okay, but hold on.
Like, what do they do for their sponsor to be that big?
Right, but like if it was like Visa Racing Bulls, like it'd be much better.
Visa Cash App Red Bull.
Racing Bulls.
I think V-Carb's a sick name.
V-Carb is a cool abbreviation. Yeah, it rolls off the tongue easy. But Cash App?
It's cheap.
Yeah, that's cheap.
All right.
It's not.
No hate against Cash App. I don't
use Cash App. If you use Cash App, it's Zelle and Apple Pay.
Zelle and Apple Pay?
Yeah, that's it.
Venmo's all right.
I've used Cash App. Cash App's 10 years ago.
Is it? You think so? Yeah.
8 years ago, at least.
Okay.
2018.
I mean, Venmo's older than Cash App.
Yeah, but like my point isn't age. My point is cheap.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. What
I like.
Did
I
you
like
give
him.
me your number 2?
Yeah,
Yeah,
my number
that's
2
V-Carb.
was V-Carb at
Okay.
8.4.
At what?
8.4.
Okay, mine's at 8.5.
Okay.
Red Bull.
Yeah.
I think our 6 and 2 slots are exactly opposite. Would you have at 6?
6, I had Alpine. I had Red Bull at 5.
You had Red Bull at 5. Okay.
Yeah.
So I had V-Carb at 6. I have Red Bull at 2. I think the gloss looks amazing. I think in night races, it's going to look great, but you're forgetting, and I wasn't going to bring it up until I brought it up in my number 2 spot. The black patterns in the blue looks sick.
I think the blue is I think the blue's too dark. I don't think it contrasts. I don't think it contrasts with the black nice.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think night races.
I'm colorblind, so it may just be hard.
He
has
for me to no credibility.
It may just be hard for me to actually see the color. I mean, they just look. It looks blended to me.
So here's why I decided to put Red Bull at number 2. 1, it's a big step for them to make that drastic of a change.
You call that a drastic change, though?
For Red Bull, it's a drastic change.
I think it was the most minimum change that they could have done to
still call it a change.
To still call it a change.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if they didn't change anything, I'll even give you one better. If they had only made it gloss.
If you took somebody's glasses away, it would look like the same car.
I disagree. I think the white outlines makes the car pop all around more.
It makes the logos pop, yes.
Right. But you also got the number changes.
The white outlines were there when they were a new team. It's not like they It's not like they just added.
But dude,
that.
the cars even look retro. Like the cars themselves, not the liveries. The cars
themselves do
look retro. So like,
I think that's because they're going back to like how F1 cars
should be.
Yeah.
Bring the V10 back.
Please, F1, if you ever watch this video, bring the V10 back.
Yeah. We know you're watching.
Yeah, definitely.
No, but like, I think it fits. Like the car's going back to a retro look. They're going back to their retro look. I think it works.
And I think a lot of teams are doing that.
Yeah.
The Bulls Ferrari to me, Mercedes, not very retro, but I think it's more similar to.
Yeah, they've kind of molded their like 2 best liveries of like the all silver and the all black.
Yeah,
everybody hated the all black. I loved it.
I didn't mind I thought the all black was
Everybody's
sick.
Complaining like that.
Well, because they're the silver bullets.
Silver arrows.
Yeah. Silver arrows. Yeah.
That's a beer.
I don't know.
Silver bullets, I think are a beer. But the all black livery, everybody hated it. I loved it. They complained that there's no color on the grid. I think this year we got enough color. Already. Like I think it's looking good.
Yeah.
But anyways, Red Bull is my number 2, 8.5 out of 10. What do you got at number 1?
Only team I haven't named yet, Haas.
We're agreeing. What do you have them rated?
8.9.
I have them at 9.
I give them an 8.9 because I think they deserve to be, at least 0.5 higher than second place.
Yeah.
But I also I hinted it before. I think Cadillac's going to deliver.
Yeah.
I have my thoughts on Cadillac, and I think Cadillac's going to take my number 1 spot. Call me a little biased.
No, but like I literally have that written down on like my side of the notes of talking about that. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have Haas at number 1, 9 out of 10. I think it looks sick. That integration of making Toyota Gazoo Racing a named sponsor on the car.
Yep.
Great choice.
And there's such a GR is just such a known brand
now,
brand of
especially
Toyota.
Yeah.
I mean the GR86 when that came out a decade ago,
right.
Almost it was
more than a decade. It's more than a decade. We're almost at a decade of the new generation.
Wow.
It's wild.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
and GRs they're in the Dakar Rally.
Yeah.
They're in F1 now. They're in WEC.
Yeah.
I think they're good racing heritage. I think it's a good brand to bring on, especially for a team like Haas. I think it's going to help them monetarily for sure. Yeah. With development and just making their car. Right. I think well, I'll save that. I'll save what I'm about to say.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's talk about Cadillac and like without, like, if you have it in your agree or disagree segment, then don't say too much. But like right now, Cadillac's odds to win the championships are lower than Audi's. And I
Who's
get it.
saying that?
Like sports books, like odds, like actual Vegas odds.
I'm gonna disagree with the sports books.
I would too. I think Cadillac, like, I think they're put a little low. But where do you think their expectations should be?
I think Cadillac. I think as a team they should be happy being a top midfield team. I'd
Really?
say.
Okay,
I would say the 4 and 5 spot should be like a very good like goal for, like, if they achieve that, they should be very happy with that.
I think if Cadillac gets P4 or P5 in the championship, they're gonna feel like they won the championship. Like, I think that's top of the line.
Now, a couple things with Cadillac. I work for GM,
right?
For my real life job. I call me biased, but with their history in racing, right? We were just talking about the IMSA race, the Daytona 24. Cadillac came in second place in the GTP. Yeah. Fought till the end. I think them also being a big brand similar to Audi. I think Audi has the opportunity to do this as well. But I think Cadillac being such a big, but they're $1 billion company. Yeah. Right. Money isn't a problem for them, right? They have successful racing in WEC. Mm-hmm. They have successful racing in IMSA, and these aren't like basic road cars like the GT 3 or GTD class. These are hypercars. These are cars that are nearly as fast as F1 cars. Right. They have the money to be able to build a team that's going to, I think, be competitive.
More than what Vegas is saying.
I think so.
Okay. I would agree with that. I think P4, P5 is putting them a little high. I see them in the P7 to P8 range. Right? We got 11 teams. I think if they finish above 3 or 4 teams, they should be happy. And I think Audi's in that same boat. I think Audi and Cadillac are going to be competing, right? I think they're going to be the two that we're really looking to get out of Q1. So to speak. Like, if they get out of Q1, they're already at a good start to the weekend. Yep. That's how I think they need to be looking at 2026. And then, we'll see 2027, 2028, still in the same regulations, what they can learn and grow into.
Yeah. And as far as their livery goes, I think it's going to be a showstopper.
Did you see? I'm really hoping.
Did you see it was a leak?
So I don't want to say, and the reason I didn't send it to you is because it's not a super, like, oh, that's the whole livery. Yeah. You only see the airbox.
Okay.
And it's white as a base color with black sponsors.
Okay. I think they're gonna. I think it's gonna be a showstopper.
Yeah, I think Cadillac's going number 1.
And they're gonna be entering F1 with such a fan advantage. We have Haas. Haas is an American team.
But do we really identify them as an American team? Let's be real.
They're right. They're a racing team located in America. Right. They're not GM, right? They're not Cadillac or Chevy, or I think F1, you're blind if you haven't seen the growth that F1 has had when it comes to its fans, NA-based fans, North American-based fans.
Drive to Survive.
All thanks to Drive to Survive. 100%. It's brought a lot of traction to the sport. We're having the American races, COTA, Miami, Vegas. Great. They're selling out, and everybody wants to go to those races, just like Monza and Imola sell out Italy because of the racing heritage. We're starting to see that kind of growth here in America.
They're becoming events now.
Right, exactly. They're becoming events. People are taking off work to travel across the country to go to these races. Yeah. I think GM's goal, aside from performance, is going to be showing up to impress when it comes to the liveries. Yeah. And I think they're going to do a good job.
You think they're going to, like, when they're doing a lot of testing and simulator time, you think they're looking at Vegas, COTA, and Miami? Or do you think they're just looking at the next race ahead and they're gonna, like, how much fan service do you think Cadillac's gonna try and do this season to really try and get the American fans on their side?
I think if they don't do something, if they're going to pick any races to do anything like fan related and fan zones, it has to be the American races.
Yeah.
It has to be Miami, Vegas, and COTA.
Yeah. 100%.
Why? And
Why
I think
you?
they should be center stage at those tracks. Why wouldn't they? It's going to be the first like truly American brand that is in F1 for a long time.
Yeah.
So
and like I'm a Red Bull guy, as you guys maybe can tell, but like Cadillac's number one for me. Like if I could
100%
pick Red Bull or Cadillac to win the championship this year, Cadillac.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. So Red Bull, I'm going for the championship. But do I want to see Cadillac in every single Q2 and sneak into a couple of Q3s? Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I want to see him score some points.
I think they have the driving team to do it too.
Experience.
Yep, they have good experience.
Yeah.
I'm really actually glad to see Sergio Perez back on the grid.
In the seat. Do you think Red Bull did him dirty?
When you have a guy like Max Verstappen who at any point could go to whatever team he wants for as long as money can buy him.
Right.
I think in that relationship, I think the pressure's on Red Bull to keep Max Verstappen. So I think what happened with Sergio Perez, obviously they were focusing on Max Verstappen. There was multiple times where Sergio Perez something was wrong with the car. Yeah. Maybe not necessarily wrong, but like it just wasn't as fast.
Right.
And I think that's probably because they were focusing on Max's car.
That's reported on. They say that they designed the car specifically for Max.
Right. And I think that's why every driver that's his teammate, I think they came in and struggled because every driver has a different driving style.
Yeah.
And when you have a car that's built around one specific driving style,
right, and not hybrid of the two of them.
Right. You lose the ability to to adjust that car to fit the second driver.
Yeah. Right. It just doesn't work. It takes it from a team sport to we're focusing on this one driver.
And look at Max Verstappen and his teammates and look at the points. There's such a huge disparity between both drivers in F1.
Right.
Or for Red Bull. So what do you think when it comes to the liveries and the changes, do you think I think we're going to have different opinions on this. Do you think it's more important to focus on the tradition of the similar to Red Bull, how like they really haven't changed, or do you prefer like new designs?
New.
You do prefer new.
I do prefer new, and the reason that I'm so high on Red Bull because I want to get this point across.
I think you're biased. I think you're biased
because I'm biased. It's because how do I say this properly? Like if somebody. Right, so you work at a dealership, and if there's a salesman who sells 5 cars a month, like, that's not good.
No.
But if that salesman in February, the shortest month of the year, comes out and sells 14 cars, like 14 cars isn't like, oh my gosh, that's incredible for the normal salesman.
Right.
But for him, you're like, all right, that's pretty good. Good job.
Yeah. Okay.
So for Red Bull, I'm like, my expectations were 0. They exceeded my expectations by a lot. Like I was expecting 0 changes.
Right.
And I mean that literally 0 changes. And I got a lot of changes in my opinion.
I think the phrase you're looking for there is less is more.
Yeah, but it only applies to Red Bull.
Yeah.
Right. Because like if Haas did their 2025 livery, I'd have been like, what the heck? You guys always change something.
Right.
Even though it was a good lift. Like, I look at V-Carb.
I see what you're saying.
Right? So V-Carb, they didn't change too much.
No.
I expected a change.
You expected more.
I expected more.
See, I think it was a massive change for the Bulls.
You're crazy. Look at their 2023 car in comparison to their 24 car. And they were, like, all blue in 24. When they went to the white in 25, everyone's like, whoa, big change.
Big change. Yeah.
They just changed a little bit of color on the back. Like, come on. From the front, it's the same car.
But it's not only that they changed the color; it's the way the color flows with the side pods and has, the
I think you're biased. I think you're biased. You use Cash App too much.
No, I'm definitely a little biased for Racing Bulls.
You like the white.
I like It's a good underdog story, right?
Bro, they're never going to be anything. If they have a good driver, they're going to be like,
put in a Red Bull, yeah.
Red Bull.
No, I know, but it would be nice to see, like, if Yuki Tsunoda when he was on the Bulls, like if he like had it like a pop off year and actually did really good, like I don't know. I think I would be happy to see Red Bull, or not Red Bull,
V-Carb?
the V-Carb. I'd be happy to see V-Carb like take a couple podiums.
Yeah. Well, they did last year. That's why Hadjar has
a couple more.
seat. Yeah, got a couple more. Yeah.
Be a contender.
Look, I'm all about spicing up the top 3, top 5 every weekend. Like, I'm all about that. I'm all about close competitive racing. I don't want, like, 2025 is just McLaren.
Oh, I know.
It gets boring.
I know.
Like,
I stopped watching a lot of the races.
Max started coming back.
I started watching again when Max started coming back. Yeah.
Right.
I think McLaren, talking about them,
yeah.
I think their livery is going to be. I think my number 1 is going to end up being McLaren or Cadillac.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good segue into the agree or disagree segment.
Okay.
And I'm going to start off with a livery-based one. McLaren would be a 10 out of 10 livery and guaranteed the best one on the grid if they made their permanent livery what they released for Barcelona.
I'd agree with that.
I would too.
I would make that my number 1.
Agree with that.
I think their testing livery is sick.
Yeah. I don't think their real livery is going to live up to that.
You don't think so?
No.
I see.
Unless they don't do orange.
I don't see them. Well, they have to have a little bit of orange.
Yeah.
Right. That's
well,
like,
okay. They also used to be a chrome and red car.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think it would be a really bad PR move to have the Barcelona testing livery be better than the season livery.
Right.
And the other reason why I think Cadillac is going to be great as well, because I think their stealth livery is also really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's really good. I think they're going to deliver too.
Yeah. So, but you would agree that if they just did their shakedown livery,
it'd be my number 1.
It'd be your number 1.
Yeah, it'd be my number 1.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got? What's your first one?
I wanted to talk about for the upcoming F1 season when it comes to drivers' mistakes versus mechanical failures like engine failures, transmission failures. Sure. What do you think is more of a deciding factor for race winners? Do you think it's drivers' errors, or do you think it's going to be mechanical failures this year? Because you have a lot of changes. You have the mechanical changes for the regulations.
Right.
It's a whole new car essentially.
100%.
New powertrains.
Yeah.
New
everything.
New everything.
Yeah.
New suspensions. New smaller sizes. So I think it's going to be pretty common to see a lot of mechanical failures, especially early on in the season.
Yeah.
We already saw a couple cars. I don't know which ones, but a couple cars broke down on track today at Barcelona.
Yeah.
So I think
the beach. I think Bortoletto beached it.
Is that what it was?
Driver error.
Yeah. Okay. They're talking about driver error.
Right.
Now we're gonna have the mechanical failures because it's a whole new vehicle.
Okay.
And then we're gonna have all these drivers in whole new vehicles. They're gonna drive completely different.
100%.
So what do you think is going to be the leading cause for
driver error, mechanical failures?
Yeah.
Driver error.
You think driver error?
Yeah.
You think cars are going to be more reliable?
I'm not saying that. I'll get into it, but what do you think?
I think adding the electric unit's bigger. Electric cars have problems.
Well, yes, but these are also like race designed power units.
Yes.
Like they're a little bit different.
But okay, let's look at hypercar.
Yeah, there's electrical problems in every racing series.
Those hybrids,
100%.
The hybrids, they get very
Electrical
stressed out and they have problems.
Okay, so you think there's going to be more mechanical problems?
I think we're going to have a pretty even mix.
You think there's going to be an even mix?
I think we're going to have a lot of mechanical failures, but I also think the first couple races are going to. I think drivers are going to be testing how close they can race to each other. I think the reduction of the dirty air, being more stable, closer to closer racing,
right?
And I think it's going to push limits.
So you think like mental limits of the drivers, and they're going to go for it, causing driver mistakes to cause more incidents, is what you're saying?
Yes, I think there's going to be more contacts. I think
Okay.
it's going to be more aggressive racing.
See, here's why I think driver incidents is going to be the ultimate cause of issues this year instead of mechanical failures. In 2022, going into the ground effects era, both Red Bulls, I know Max Verstappen, but I think both Red Bulls blew their engines first race of the year.
I remember that.
Right.
Yep.
So the mechanical failures of the new car, that was the first year of the ground effects. We're going to have that the first couple races this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Teams are going to figure it out.
Yep.
They're going to figure it out, and it's going to go back to who's the best driver. I stand firm on if you put Max in a Williams, he's still going to win races.
Oh, no.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
You're crazy.
No, because dude, you can be look, best driver in the world, right?
Right.
Let's call it
100%.
I think he's if not up there.
You want to know why I say that though?
Why?
I think Yuki Tsunoda was a more accurate representation of Red Bull's actual strength last year than Max was. And the only reason Max chased back in the championship is because he's Max. I think if it was Yuki and Liam Lawson in the Red Bulls, they wouldn't have been in the top 3. And I
agree with that, but
okay.
I also think that if you were to put Max in a Williams, I think Max would probably.
But Williams finished in front of Yuki in almost every race.
So I was going to say, I think if you put Max Verstappen in a Williams, right. I think there'd be multiple podiums.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he wins the championship. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
right. Okay, as long as you're saying he's not like winning the championship, right?
So I think driver errors are going to be a more predominant factor.
Okay.
Than mechanical failures for sure. All right. So do you agree or disagree that we have had 7 out of 11 liveries revealed so far? Cadillac's going to be the best one based off of the small leak that we have.
I'm going to agree just because okay. I think I haven't seen the leak, but I have my hopes for Cadillac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want them to.
I know we kind of already talked about that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to do another one. I'm
going
to do another one. So this one's a little tougher. So Red Bull should not have replaced Liam Lawson with Yuki starting in Japan of last year. That's 3 or 4 races into the season. And now you don't think that Red Bull should have replaced Yuki after 2025 with Hadjar. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. I don't think Liam Lawson really got
his shot. I'm going to disagree with this.
You think he had a fair chance?
I don't think he had a fair chance in Red Bull per se.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have been in Red Bull, period.
Oh, okay.
I think Red Bull would have had more success in the constructors if they just kept Checo. That's number 1.
Yep, I can agree with that. Yeah.
It can become a money problem with Checo costing too much and Liam's a cheap option.
Right.
You're also catering the car 100% towards Max. So whoever you put in that second seat, whether it's Checo, Liam, or Yuki, they're getting screwed.
Maybe they were thinking that taking Liam Lawson, right, fresh driver.
Yeah.
Maybe they thought they'd be able to coach him.
Yeah, mold him a little bit.
Mold him into that car and call it a failed project.
That did not work.
It did not work.
No.
Yeah.
So I definitely think he deserved to be replaced by Yuki.
Yeah.
And I think
wasn't Yuki already moved into Red Bull a couple of years back? So
Yuki was he was in Red Bull for 2024, then got replaced by Liam Lawson, and Liam Lawson went up to Red Bull, and Yuki went down to VCARB.
Yeah.
And then they
now
flipped
Yuki's
it again.
Back again.
Well, then they flipped it again, and then whatever. So they just moved a whole bunch of drivers around.
Yeah.
All right, what's your next one?
Let me see. A team can win the championship without the fastest car for most of the season.
I think it depends on drivers. I want to say agree.
I want to say agree, and I think McLaren's a really good example of that. I don't think McLaren's car was the fastest.
Last year?
Yeah.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that. Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you.
You think they were you think aside from drivers,
clear fastest.
You think you put all right? Let's put the same driver in a Red Bull and put the same driver in a McLaren.
Yeah.
You think
put Max Verstappen in each of them,
and you think he's putting better times up with the McLaren?
Yeah.
You think so?
Like not even like a close call. I think the McLaren was,
even though the Red Bull's built around Max Verstappen.
Correct. And so let's take a driver that doesn't really have a right to have a car built around him. Let's take a driver that hasn't driven either of the cars. Let's take George Russell. You put him in each of them.
Yeah.
He kills his time in the McLaren.
You think so?
Yeah, he kills his Red Bull time in the McLaren.
Okay.
I think the McLaren was a rocket ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. McLaren was strong.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I have one that would lead into that. You know, driver pairings will decide the constructor title more than outright pace. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. I think having a driver pairing with it almost doesn't make sense to say this, that you have a good driver pairing that's going to win the constructors championship. But they have to work well together. But we have McLarens that are crashing each other out because of papaya rules, and they can just race.
Right.
So I want to say, like, yeah, I agree with that statement if they don't have papaya rules. But even with papaya rules, McLaren was so dominant that they won.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to say agree.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree that a driver pairing is more important than outright pace. Now, you can't put a great driver pairing in Kick Sauber from last year and expect them to win the constructors.
That's fair.
Right? There has to be a certain level of pace.
Right.
But if you were to put a good, let's say a tenth of a second on average qualifying pace and car performance difference, and you put the same pairing in each of the cars, or the two different pairings, the car with better pairing in the slower car, I think they would beat. I think they would beat the faster pace. Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, that I would agree with. All right, here's one that you might get a little hot.
Okay. All right. Let's get ready for this.
Red Bull should remove VCARB from the grid and sell their spot back to Lotus. Not back to Lotus because they didn't buy Lotus. Sell it to Lotus or BMW.
Oh. I'm going to agree with that.
You're agreeing with that. I disagree.
I'm going to agree with it because, right, the Bulls are cool, right? But it is essentially a development team for Red Bull.
That's exactly what it is.
We have that. It's called F2,
right,
and F3,
right,
and F4.
Yeah.
So why do we have a developmental team where it's supposed
F1,
to be
the
pinnacle of racing?
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with that. I think it'd be really cool to see Lotus back on the track, and I think it'd be really cool to see BMW.
So I'm mixed. I'm gonna say I disagree with this, and I'll give a reason why.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool to have new teams on the tracks. That's why I'm so excited for Audi and Cadillac.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so excited.
Really exciting for that. Yeah.
But I'm gonna disagree with this, and I think VCARB should stay. Because I think it's so intriguing and entertaining, even if it's not something we agree with, I think it's very intriguing to see Red Bull and VCARB switch drivers around.
That's the only reason why
up.
It would be cool to keep them, is because they are the only team that can do that. Like if they wanted to turn around and say, yeah, Max, you're in a Bulls car today, like they could. That would never happen.
No, it's not gonna happen.
But the fact that they're the only team on the grid that can do that,
trade drivers around.
I kind of see that as an advantage.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I do too. Absolutely. And so that's why I disagree. But I would say it's kind of an unfair advantage.
Like, yeah, right. Because when other teams have only one reserve driver, right?
Right.
Red Bull technically has two. They technically have a reserve.
Well, they technically have four.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
They have for each team.
Right.
So they could be kind of stacked. Like if they wanted to buy, really good upcoming
money.
drivers, spend
Yeah.
money on that. And I think it is an unfair advantage.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Do you have another one, or was that your last one?
Yeah, the other one is more touching on the endurance racing. We have the season opener, I believe it is, for the Asian Le Mans series.
Okay.
Yep. So kind of going back into endurance. Agree or disagree? Daytona 24 is a harder endurance race to win than the Le Mans 24.
I'm going to say agree.
Okay.
Now, I think any 24-hour race is extremely difficult.
Right.
I don't think
Right.
there's much disparity in the difficulty level. But the reason I would say Daytona is because of variables. I think there's more possible variables to happen in Daytona, such as weather, track temp change, the fog, right? That goes to weather.
Daytona has a higher temp swing.
Right.
They have the oval to road course
Right.
transition.
Right.
Much shorter track.
Yeah.
With roughly the same amount of drivers.
Yep.
Right. I think
More chaos.
Yeah. More traffic.
Yep.
It's a closer battle.
Yep.
Le Mans is a huge track.
Massive.
It can get very spread out.
Yeah.
And you can see pockets where drivers are driving by themselves.
Yeah.
For hours because of how long the track is.
Mm-hmm.
I think you also have less laps.
Right.
I think that can be an advantage or a disadvantage, right? An advantage, right? Having more laps at Daytona, you're seeing more laps, you're more comfortable,
right.
The more laps you do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, more laps gives you greater possibilities to mess up at more complex corners, more technical corners.
Right.
I think Le Mans cuts those laps.
Right.
By half,
right.
Almost, as compared to how many laps are in Daytona.
So are you saying Le Mans is less difficult?
No, I'm saying Daytona is more difficult.
You're saying Daytona is more difficult?
Yeah, because I think running less laps. I think Le Mans 24 gives drivers the ability to be very comfortable driving, but it doesn't give them too much opportunity to mess up at the technical corners,
right.
like Daytona does.
Right. I also think there's a lot more, quote, room to breathe at Le Mans. You have so many long
100%.
Straights that you can
so many long straights.
You can lock in. You can almost let go for a second.
Yeah.
And just pressing the throttle. Whereas
you literally come out of the first couple turns and it's
go
45 seconds straight.
Right. So that's why I'm sticking. Daytona is more difficult as a 24-hour race than Le Mans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
All right.
My last one, going back to F1 real quick.
Yeah.
And then you can take us through what we have coming up this week in racing. But so agree or disagree? McLaren needs to stop we don't have a number one driver, and they have no excuse now to make Lando their clear number one driver.
Yeah, that should have been. I think that should have been done halfway through the season of 2025.
Really? I so halfway through, right? Oscar had the lead in the championship up until about the 3/4 mark. So it's hard to say, and I'm kind of iffy on this one. I put agree.
Yeah.
I think they need to make Lando their number one driver just because there's a reason he has a number one on his car, and it's because he won the championship.
Yeah.
Whether you think that Oscar is a faster race car driver, which I'm not mad at people who make that argument.
Right.
Like, Oscar is unbelievably talented. But Lando deserves it because, I think his tenure with the team.
Yep.
He's the face of the team more than Piastri.
Yeah.
And he won the World Driver Championship.
100%.
I think.
Why would they say, all right, Lando, yeah, you won the World Drivers' Championship,
right.
but you're going to be our number 2 driver this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
he should be number 1.
I think it's almost an insult that they keep on saying that they don't have a number 1 driver.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You need to make it clear.
I think it is insulting to Lando.
If Oscar wants to go somewhere else, a contender, and try and win a championship as a number 1 driver, let him do it.
And I think there's a lot of teams that would pick up Lando, and I think there's a lot of teams that wouldn't hesitate to make him the number 1 and build a car around him, similar to how Red Bull has to Max. I think Lando is going to be the next Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
He gets a little bit more experience and
see,
just keeps racing.
This is where I struggle because I could see Oscar Piastri being the next Max Verstappen.
I don't see it as much as Lando. Maybe it's
really
maybe it's
recency bias to him winning the championship.
Maybe it's a bias to him winning the championship.
Okay.
Maybe it's I don't know.
Okay.
He's a more public.
Yeah, he's the face of the team.
He's the face 100%. Of the team.
Yeah, no, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got this week?
So going into this weekend, we're gonna of course keep an eye on the Barcelona coverage for it's going. Today's Monday. We're recording on a Monday. It goes till Friday, so we'll be watching every day. And then this weekend we have the season opener to the Asian Le Mans Series.
Yeah. That's on what day? Saturday.
That's gonna be on Sunday, I believe it is.
Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's on Sunday. That's going to be one of the feeder series for the WEC.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're also going to have the NASCAR season opener.
Yeah.
We're going to have the Cookout Clash at Bowman Gray Stadium.
Yeah.
That's going to be this Sunday on February 1st.
Yeah.
You've got a short track, tight oval track.
Yeah.
You're going to have 23 drivers on the grid, I believe it is. It's a very short track at only a quarter mile.
Right.
So you're gonna have a lot of chaos.
Right.
Yeah. There's always chaos. There's no points. So drivers treat it, more like a video game, I'd say.
Right. And this is where you get all the NASCAR fans that are like, I don't want to say like Talladega Nights type of NASCAR fans.
They're just rowdy. They love the rowdiness. The stadium is
awesome.
Nicknamed the Madhouse.
Right.
It's built for chaos. It's going to be a really fun race to watch. I'm definitely going to be
never a dull moment either because it's such a short track.
Right. There's always traffic.
Right.
The guys trying to get through traffic. The track is going to really benefit the guys that are aggressive, have really good race restarts because there's probably going to be a few of those.
Yeah.
There tends to be for this Cookout Clash.
Mm-hmm.
There was last year when they were at Bowman Stadium. So
yeah. Anything else this week?
No, I think that's going to be it for this week. Just those two races coming up for the races that we're going to be covering.
Yeah.
Indy season starting soon. We're going to be doing full coverage on Indy season. WEC. We'll be watching IMSA F1.
Those are the main four.
And then NASCAR. Yeah. NASCAR as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We kind of count IMSA and WEC the same. They're very, very similar. So those are the four series that we're going to be mainly covering. If there's any big news in their feeder series, we're going to be covering those as well. You've got Indy NXT, ALMS, ELMS. You have VP Racing for VP Sports Car Championship for IMSA F2. There's always some big news happening in F2. Those drivers are still, extremely impressive. Very good drivers. So, I think that pretty much wraps it up for this week's talk.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tune in next week. We're going to be posting weekly, so we look forward to seeing you guys later on.